Morning, everyone who has joined us from all over, whether or not you are recording. Already got a message from someone in the group asking for permission to record. You don't need to worry about recording. We are going to have this up on our YouTube page, and you will in time also be able to access it on Miss Zora. But once again, good morning to everyone. So exciting that we get to start and we get to be the very first ones who are enjoying our coding club for January 2021. Now, first thing I think that we really need to know is, who is this guy that you see on the screen? Well, that's me. You unfortunately can't see me on video, but that is totally all right, because I think we're still going to be able to interact very nicely. My name is Mr. Olsen. That's what I generally have introduced myself as, but a lot of people and a lot of learners and boys and girls like to call me Mr. O. And I had one very cheeky but very awesome young man who started to call me Mr. Omo. So if you would like to call me Mr. Omo or Mr. O or Mr. What else starts with O, then you know what, you totally can. In fact, if you've got an idea for what you want to call me, something that starts with O, you can drop that in the chat as we go along. Maybe Mr. What else starts with O? Mr. OK. I like that. Okay, so what are we going to be doing? What are we looking at? What's the whole point of this morning? I forgot Mr. OT. Sorry, I got so distracted by Zoe there. Mr. OT, I love that. That's absolutely brilliant. Okay, so we're going to be looking at what is coding, why should we learn coding? I mean, we're all here and we're watching this video, or you're here live with us to figure out, what is coding and should we learn it? Is it worthwhile? Well, this little dog over here certainly seems to think so, because he or she, I don't know, what do you think, a boy or a girl dog? I always feel like little dogs are girl dogs, but I know that's not true because I've got a little dog and he's most definitely a boy. So we've got this little dog who is also learning to code with us. But the first question is, of course, what is coding? Okay, so if anybody's got an idea, if they want to jump in and say what they think coding is, then you're welcome to put your hand up. Otherwise, I'm going to start you off and say coding is all about code. Code. Have you ever made a code with your friend? Have you ever done something like this? Like when you want to let somebody in on a secret and you wink with your eye. You've given them a little code to say, hey, we've got a little secret. Or have you been in a classroom and you've put your hand up in the air, and then the teacher said, oh, yes, I see you've got a question. And then she says, yes, what is your question? Well, you used a form of code there. You used a way to communicate an idea and to get what you want. In fact, that's exactly what coding is. It's us using computers to get what we want. And if that sounds a little bit evil genius, well, that's all right, because I think it possibly could be. In fact, a lot of people have. So what is coding? Coding is us controlling computers and robots and getting them to do what we want them to do. Now, in some cases, it could be watching videos, or it could be something as exciting and elaborate as sending a rocket into space. We need coding for that. Whew. That makes me very excited. I want to send a rocket all the way into space. Let's have some guesses in the chat. What do you guys think this little dog is doing with the computer to try and control it and get it to do what it wants to do? What do you guys think it is? If you're on YouTube, if we've got the comments there, I don't think we will, but you can just guess out loud. What do you think this dog is doing? Maybe making a new Instagram app, or making the new Facebook and coding that. Very interesting. There are so many things that we can do with coding. And even if you grow up, oh, he's just reading. Aria says that he's reading. I love Naka's one, coding a cat chasing game. I absolutely love that. Maybe we can even make that as we go along, and then we can give it to this little dog. We don't have a name for our doggy yet. What could its name be? Mr. Little OT. I'll absolutely love that. Coding a cat chasing game. Yes, creating a game, in Claire says, and I love that idea. In fact, that's one of the cool things that we can do with coding. Oh, did you guys know that there's going to be a guest speaker later this week? I think it's this week. Tabisa might be able to correct me on this, our host. But we've got somebody who's going to join us and talk to us, and they work at one of the biggest game making studios in the world. It's a game making platform called Unity. And if you play any games on an iPad or on a phone, then you've probably played a game made by Unity where this lady works. And she's going to talk to us about that. Some of the other guesses we got is Jammy the cat, coding a robot. Oh, love that, Yolandi, that's great. And Mocheo says, watching a YouTube video, learning to code. Yes, you're joining us, little doggy friend. Oh, love that. Yes, it is this week, Tabiso says, so we're going to be able to listen into that. I can't remember her name now, but if you keep watching, I will bring it up tomorrow again. Okay, so let's move a little bit past that, where we've said, okay, so coding is us controlling computers and getting them to do what we want to do. So for that, we need to be able to speak the right language that the computer says. Because right now, if you just look at your phone or wherever you are watching this, on your computer, whatever it is, and if you just look at it and say, okay, computer, go get me a snack. Did it work for anyone? It didn't work for me because our computers don't understand that exact language. We need to know the language to speak to it so that our computer can actually do things. And the tricky thing about that is that computers, as smart as they are, aren't as smart as you. Maybe you think that a cell phone in your home is way smarter than you because it can just get any information. Well, that's not really smart. It's what are we doing with that information? What are we doing with that information? Okay, I've seen that I'm not sharing full screen, so let me just quickly make sure. I'm just going to pause my share over there, and then let's see if that is full screen. Not sure if it is full screen just yet. Sorry, give me just one moment for this, and let's see if we're able to do that. Otherwise, even if it is a little bit small, then I think that'll be all right for today. Okay, I hope that's all right. I think you can all see our little doggy because you are responding nice and positively, and then we'll sort that out next time. Okay, perfect. Okay, it's all working nicely now. So we've already said, what is coding? And now the big question of, well, why should we learn to code? I mean, that seems like a pretty good question. Why are we spending this time at the start of the year? Is this kind of like school? Why are we going to school early? Well, that's because school is absolutely awesome. But why should we learn to code? Well, unless you haven't realized, tech and computers help us to do a lot. And it's because of technology that we're able to listen to each other now and help each other out now. There are so many problems in the world that are getting solved by coding. You know, we've got COVID at the moment and this worldwide pandemic, and it's such scientists who got together and they wanted to come up with the cure or the vaccination for COVID. And so what they did is they started putting lots of numbers into a computer to see how they could make this. Okay, and they ran lots of numbers and did lots of sciencey stuff, and they coded it all. And they pushed run on their computer, and they've got one of the fanciest computers in the world. It is so fast and so amazing, but it was still taking quite slow because there was just so much information. So a lot of people from all over the world said, hey, you can use my computer too. And someone else said, yes, you can use mine. All the way from South Africa, where I think some of us or many of us are from, all the way through Asia and Europe and everywhere. So many people brought their computers together on the internet and connected them so that those scientists could run those numbers. And that's actually helped with solving this problem and helping so many people. So the coding that we do now is going to help you, and it's going to help others. It also helps us to think so nicely. It makes us smarter when we code, when we mess up and learn from those problems, when we put our thinking into a computer or into a coding program, we're going to get smarter, and we're going to have lots and lots and lots of fun doing it. In fact, that's why I started coding. I wanted to make games, and I wanted to play the games that I make, and I wanted to make games for my son and for my daughter. And so I learned to code, and it was just so much fun. Okay, so let me quickly summarize what we got until now, just for those of you who are journeying. We've looked at what is coding and why should we learn coding. Let me summarize it like this. Coding makes you like a superhero. Because if you can control a computer, well, you could fly. You could look into the past. You could capture the present. You could lift up really, really heavy things using robots and computers. We could be like superheroes. Okay, so now's the time for you to jump in on the chat. You can either type this out or you can put your hand up. But if you could do anything, absolutely anything with superpowers, what superpower would you have, and what would you like to do with that superpower? What superpower would you have if you could have any superpower? And what would you do with that superpower? What Okay. Unmute you just over there. And let's see if we can hear you now, if I've done that nicely. So Zara, I'm going to unmute you. Okay, while we wait for, oh, there we go. Zara, yes, what superpower would you have and what would you like to do with it?
I would have laser eyes.
What? Laser eyes? That sounds amazing. And what would you do with laser eyes?
What did I do with laser eyes?
Would you cut wood and build a house?
Yeah.
Oh, that sounds absolutely awesome. I love that idea. Thank you for that, Zara. From the chat, we've got electrical superpowers and make lightning come out of my hands. Jessica says controlling a robot that can innovate anything. Let's hear from Enclair. Enclair, I'm asking to unmute you. Yes, Enclair. Let's hear what
the superpower I'm gonna do is make fire.
What? To make fire? That would be so cool. We could get warm. We could cook. I would like to be able to just start a fire and then I could braai for my family. What would you like to do with your fire making superpower, Enclair?
To unfreeze things.
Oh, that is so cool, to unfreeze things. What an absolutely fantastic idea. Tasania says saving computers so they don't crash. Oh, yes, I absolutely agree with that. Okay, let's hear from just 2 or 3 more people. Let's hear from Blessing. Just asked to unmute you, Blessing. Let's hear what you have to say.
With my superpowers, I can do carrying stuff.
Oh, yes, carrying heavy stuff. I love that. That is such a good idea. Oh, and then we wouldn't hurt our bodies or hurt our backs. Oh, I feel like I'm getting old, and every time I pick something up, then it hurts my back. Okay, let's hear from Nika or Nika.
I want rainbow power that I can make anything.
Oh, so you can make anything? Whoa, that would be awesome. You can make your own toys. You could, if you were feeling kind of hot, you could just make a swimming pool show up right in front of you. Whoa, I like that idea. Thank you for that one. That's absolutely brilliant. Okay, let's hear from Homo.
That's good. That's you. What did you say? Hi, Chris.
Hi, yes.
We're now shy. Sorry about that.
That's all right, Homo.
But
Well,
they
you know
said
what?
magnets.
Magnets? Oh, that's an interesting one. Using magnets to build, to push, to pull, to generate electricity even. Oh, I really like that idea. Great thinking on that. Okay, let's hear from just one more person for now. Mokheo. Yes, Mokheo, what superpower would you have and what would you like to do with it?
I would like to do with my superpower. My superpower would be fire and wind mixed together.
Whoa, fire and wind mixed together? So you could like make your flames just go super far. Or if you accidentally made a fire that was too big, maybe you could try to blow it out. Although I don't think that would work. That just might make the fire worse. Maybe you could have a friend who has other superpowers with water superpowers. And if the fire just got out of control, well, then you guys could put it out together. I think that would be.
I do have a friend.
Oh, you do have a friend?
Yeah.
Do they have water superpowers?
Yeah. His name is H2O.
H2O, that's a brilliant name for a water-powered superhero. Oh, I like that very much. Thank you for that, Mokheo. And Paul says a flash speed superpower, being able to run incredibly, incredibly fast. Well, you know what? I think that we could do all of these if we learn to code and if we learned to build them with robots. We could. I mean, we couldn't just do it in one quick little go. This could take years. This could take lots of learning. What a cool and exciting challenge. Oh, I absolutely love that. Okay. So what we're going to think about now, and this is going to be something that you can already start now, but otherwise I would love to see what you come up with either by tomorrow or the next day. Robots are just computers. They're things that we tell to do something else and we code them to do something else. So you've said that if you're a superhero, you be fast and make computers actually work and not crash and do all these exciting things. Well, what if we could make a robot that could do that? Oh, that would be really cool. So what we're going to be doing over the next few days and a few weeks, in fact, as we spend this time together, we're going to be looking at how can we start programming computers, getting computers to do what we want them to do. But let's dream big. Just like I've seen you guys are so creative and it's so exciting to see. I love hearing that. So what you're going to do is you're going to think of your robot. I'll put in the chat before the end, just before we go, I won't stop and do it now, but before the end, I'm just going to drop in the chat a file that has this robot, the one that you see on your screen here, so that if you want to do this on the computer or print it out and do it, then you can. Otherwise, just on a piece of paper or on a tablet or wherever you like to draw, why don't you draw your robot? And what you can do with this robot is you can add some buttons, or you can add some extra features. Maybe if you wanted to be able to build really big and exciting things, then you can put even stronger arms on it. If you wanted to make fire or make ice or like H2O make water, how would you include that? Where would you put it? Would it need to be a button? Let's get creative and let's think about how we could use a robot and create a robot. Okay, so if you all got that, before I move on, we're going to look at we won't do it now, we won't spend the time now, because this is something that you can do after our lesson, or if you're watching this video recorded later on, you can do it as well. You're going to try to create your very own robot. You can start this off just by drawing it and putting in things, but if you feel really creative and like you just want to build and make, then why don't you use some Lego if you got that, or if you got some cardboard and boxes, or those magnet kind of tiles. Whatever you make, then please do make sure that you take a photo of it and that you bring it along to one of our next lessons. And I'll check with our host if it's all right that I drop in my email address, and then you can send it in there so that I can put it in a presentation. So let me just quickly. Okay, so you're going to be making your very own robot. Okay, great. So you can email me here we go, at chris@homecode.co.za. So when you've taken a picture, or if it's just on the computer and you want to send it to me, then please send it to chris@homecode.co.za. I've put that in the chat if you don't see it. I would love to see what you guys come up with, and then we can see, maybe we can use some of those in the coding adventures that we all go on together. Okay, so now let's move on to our next step, which is, what will we do? Well, what are we going to do for these, for the next, how many is it, 2 or 3 weeks, all the way up until the 22nd of January, when every day we're going to have time from 9 until about 20 to 10, or if you're watching this recorded, then you're going to be able to track through these with me. Remember, this is really focused on grade R's and 1s. So if you're in that age group, or even if you're a mom and dad and you feel like you could learn a lot from this, I know that I always do as we go through whatever it is. We're going to be looking at pattern recognition. So we're going to be looking for patterns. Let me ask you, if you look around the room right now, can you see any patterns? Let me tell you what a pattern is, in case you don't know. A pattern is when something repeats itself. It's like you could have, let me give you an example of what I see. Oh, I see my LED light, which is shining over here, and it's got 4 lights or 3 lights in a row. And one of them has a plus and a minus on top, the other one has nothing, and then the second one has nothing, and then the one after that has a plus and minus on top, and then nothing and nothing, plus and minus on top, nothing, nothing. That's a pattern that I see here in my room. So if you look around the room that you're in now, can you see any patterns? If you see a pattern, then you can put your hand up, or you can put it in the chat. I think Zara sees a pattern. Let's quickly here, I'll ask to unmute Zara. Do you see any patterns, Zara? Possibly not. Your hand might be up from just a little bit earlier. Okay, that's all right. But does anybody see patterns around? Ooh, Zoe says we see some on our pillows. Ooh, now as I look down, I also see on my mouse kind of mat, I also see some stripes. There's a big black stripe, then a thin white stripe, then a thin gray stripe, then a thick white stripe again. Whoa, okay. So there are patterns everywhere. Well, pattern recognition and seeing patterns all around is a very big part of coding. It helps us to write code nicely and to use our time very, very wisely and well. We're also going to be looking at some computer skills, how we can use computers. As we go a little bit further into this week, when we move on to doing some coding in a program called Scratch Junior. If you don't have that, parents, I'm going to be showing you how you can install that or use that on a computer or Android device or even Apple device. You're going to be able to do that. Oh, let me take a step back, because Jessica's bracelet has different beads that make color patterns. Whoa, that's really, really cool. Maybe we're going to be able to make some bracelets in our code as well. Oh, but I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so we will be able to look at computer skills as well. How do we use a program? How do we control a computer? We'll be speaking a little bit about how we can make sure that we are safe when we use these computers and devices, because just like a robot, if you think about a big robot, one that we've used to make, I just keep going with the fire and wind idea. I don't know why I have that stuck in my head, but I absolutely love it. If we've got a robot that makes wind and fire, I would think that we need to be a little bit careful with that. I mean, call me wild and crazy here, but I think we've got to have some safety things around using that robot. Well, computers can be dangerous if we don't use them in the right way. And I don't just mean throwing them at your younger brother or sister because, you feel a little bit frustrated with them. I mean, that there are things on there that we really need to be careful of. We'll speak through some of those as well. Okay, I see Zara has put her hand up again. Let's hear what patterns you see around, or if you've got another question or anything like that. Let's hear.
I see a zigzag pattern.
Whoa, zigzag pattern. I like zigzag patterns. They're exciting. And when you cross zigzags over with more zigzags, that makes an even more exciting pattern. Oh, thank you very much for that, Zara. And let's hear from Faith. Faith, I think, also sees some patterns.
Good morning.
Good morning.
I see patterns in the sitting room.
Oh, in the sitting room. Oh, okay. Where do you see them? On the ceiling? Oh, that's exciting. My ceiling has absolutely no patterns. I'm looking at it now and it's just quite plain. Maybe I should paint some on. Hey, what do you think?
My one is made of wood and stripes.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, I'm kind of jealous now. Mine's just kind of cement ceiling. I want a nice wooden pattern above me. Okay, and let's hear just for one more on this question from Nika.
I have stripes on the floor.
You have stripes on the floor? Oh, cool. Is it also wood or is it tiles? What is it?
Wood.
Oh, wood. Okay, a lot of wooden patterns. That's also very cool. Very, very nice. I've got tiles, and you know what? That actually does make a pattern as well. Oh, I didn't even realize. Whoa, you guys are good at this. When we just look around, we see lots and lots of patterns. Okay, let's hear from Mocheo, and then I'm going to speak a little bit about algorithms. Okay, let's hear from Mocheo. Where do you see some patterns? Yes, Mocheo, you're on. Where do you see patterns?
I see patterns on my pillow.
Oh, on your pillow. Oh,
Yeah.
It's very nice. I'm glad you don't just have a boring old pillow that's just white or just brown or one color. You got patterns on there. That's really, really cool. It actually took, if we think about it, someone didn't sit there and just sew that. Most likely, I mean, I can't see it, but I would think that it was actually a big robot in a factory that made that. And if that's true, then that took somebody coding it. So with coding, we could even make awesome patterns on our pillows. Oh, very cool. I love that idea. Okay, very, very last one, because I see Enclair's hand just popped up. Yes, Enclair.
My floor has wood on it.
Oh, your floor also has wood. Does it make an awesome pattern?
Yes.
Oh, that is so cool. Oh, you know what? Actually, I do have a little bit of wood in my house. I'm going to go look at the pattern after we have our lesson over here before I design my robot, because I also want to make one. But let's quickly talk about the last, one of the things that we're going to be doing as we go through the next few weeks through our coding club together. What an exciting time. We're going to be looking at something called algorithms. Whew, that sounds fancy and smart. I feel like just to say that, you need to put glasses on. If you went to someone, you would need to look like our little doggy friend over here. We still don't have a name for him or her, by the way. Because I think Mr. Little OT, it doesn't work as well as it could. So if you've got ideas, put them in the chat and let's see if we can give our little coding doggy a name. Okay, so we're going to be looking at algorithms. Algorithms are just a set of steps that we take to do something. In fact, you probably didn't even realize this unless you are just so smart already and learning so much already. You've already used algorithms today. to do something. Whatever it was that you've done, even whatever it is that you've done, even getting up and getting ready in the morning, you used an algorithm. We won't dwell too much on algorithms now. Ooh, Dennis the dog, I like that, Zoe. That's sounding cool. What a great option. Maybe Dennis the dog is the name of our little coding doggy over here. Okay, so when you were getting ready in the morning, for example, you went through and you used an algorithm. You know, you turned over, you sat up, you went and brushed your teeth, you had breakfast, you took a bunch of steps to get ready. You followed a bunch of steps as well, a set of steps to join in this lesson, now to join in this class as well. And that's the only way really that you join. Okay, so after that, after algorithms, I've also said that we are going to dance. In fact, let's take a 30-second or a 10 or a 20-second, maybe not 30 seconds, a 10-second dance break. So if you're not standing up already, stand up and do your best dance move. Okay, I'm doing my best one. We can't see each other's, but just right now, what's really cool is that there are about 25 of us kind of all over South Africa and the world, and we're all just having a nice little dance. Oh, that's really fun. I like that connection. We are going to be understanding dance and how it's going to help us to better realize coding and make things with coding. And I hope that you are already, but I've had just a tremendous amount of fun so far. And like I say, I really, really hope that you do as well as we go through pattern recognition, computer skills, algorithms, as we dance, as we code, and as we learn a lot about each other and computers and robots and all of these things along the way. Okay, so that's it for today, for now. Well, in the next few minutes, we will close down. But before then, I just want to remind you that you are going to have in the chat in the last minute or so, after we've stopped recording and everything like that, I'll just drop the link in the chat for the robot picture, the one that we saw earlier. Let me go back to it on ours. There we go. There it is. You're going to have your very own robot, which you can either build or make, which you can draw from scratch if you want, or you can use this picture or any other picture that you want to make your own robot and add in buttons and add in things so that it can do things. You know, if you want it to be able to lift heavy stuff, then make sure that you give it nice, strong arms. So before we say bye-bye for now until tomorrow, are there any other questions that you guys have, that mom and dad has, or you have? I see that Mocheo and Zara have their hands up. Let's hear from them. Okay, so we're going to be going all the way until 9:45. So in this time, we are going to just be answering questions. We can talk about this, and we can even talk about what you want to make in your robots and anything else you're excited about. Okay, so if you want to say something, even if it's just Happy New Year, let's put our hands up and say, and then I'll unmute you, and then you can say, let's hear from Mocheo. Okay, try again for Mocheo. Got a few more hands coming up. Okay, I'm going to move to Zara.
My robot is going to be a princess.
Excellent, a princess robot. And what will your princess robot do? Do you think, what do princesses do? They help lots of people. So maybe your princess robot will bring food to boys and girls who don't have food. Oh, that's great. Oh, I like this princess robot a lot. And maybe you can draw a crown on her head or tiara. Oh, I'm excited to see that robot. Very, very cool. Okay, Shireen just asks if these sessions are going to be recorded and will they be available if we miss a day? Absolutely. You'll be able to see that on our YouTube channel. And in time on the other platform that we use, Miss Zora, which is 0 data rated and a really fantastic platform. And you're going to be seeing that as we go throughout the week. So yes, you will be able to access those most definitely. Okay, let's hear from Inhle. What robot would you like to make?
I would like to make a queen robot.
A queen robot. So we're going to have a princess robot. We're going to have a queen robot. And what would your queen robot do?
She will help people.
Oh, that is the best thing that a queen could do with lots of power to do lots of stuff, using that to help others. My goodness, that sounds absolutely brilliant. I love that idea. Okay, let's try Mokeo again. Mokeo? Nope. Okay. And let's go to D.
Make a Batman robot.
A Batman robot? That is so cool.
Flash robot.
Sorry, please say again.
A Flash robot.
Oh, a Flash robot. So Batman robot and a Flash robot. Ooh, that sounds very, very cool. One that can just go super duper fast. It'll be very, very strong, you know? Batman, because he is, I think, next to Spider-Man, just one of the smartest superheroes. And, you know, Batman isn't physically as strong as, say, Superman. But you know that Batman could just beat Superman because he built a robot, a really strong robot that he could use to beat Superman. Huh. So our robots could even be stronger than Superman. How cool is that? Thank you for that one. I like that one, Dee. Okay, let's hear from Blessing.
My robots will be it will be a police.
Oh, a police. Whoa, that's an interesting idea. Hey, imagine if the police could use or have robots with them, or there were some robots that were police, because the police do a dangerous job as well. And they do such a great job of protecting us and helping us. That could be something cool that helps them as well. Sure, that is such a great idea. I wonder if someone's working on that. Very, very good thinking. I love that. Paul says that mine will be a king robot. So we're building a whole dynasty of robots that are kings and queens and princesses. Awesome. And they're going to be able to help others and make nice decisions to help other people. Oh, I love that. That is absolutely brilliant. Aria's robot will fly. Oh, like a drone. That's very cool. Does anyone have a drone? Does anybody use the drone? Those are some amazing flying robots. You can do such cool things with those. But what if you could, you know, jump on the back of your robot and fly around as well? We'd need a super fancy drone for that. That's such a cool idea, Aria. Love that. Okay, and let's go to Yolanda.
Hi, Jessica would like to tell you what she wants to make.
Oh, thank you. Yes, Jessica.
I like dogs, and I was making and I already made a washer dog drowned. So
that's such a cool idea.
I know, I already made it, and a robot, but only two, and a controller to run, and the floating ones.
Yes. Oh, that sounds so cool. I mean, there are so many great ideas there. Robots that can wash our dogs and be nice and gentle with our little doggy friends. I mean, you know, a robot won't get frustrated with a doggy who keeps running away from not wanting to have a bath or a clean. Oh, that's awesome. Very, very good thinking there, Jessica. Let's hear from Nika or Nika.
My brother has a globe.
Oh, he does. And can he control it with an iPad or a tablet or something like that?
A remote.
Whoa, with a remote. Oh, that's super cool. And you know, the only way that that could work is if somebody used coding for that and had a way for that remote to communicate with that drone, to speak the right language to that drone so that that drone can move around. And there are lots of little motors in there that, you know, need to spin at different rates, and it needs to be able to stay flat, but not when you move it. Oh, it takes such a lot of thinking. That's very, very cool. I like drones as well. See, Faith has a hoverboard, a real hoverboard. That's amazing. Very, very cool. Okay, let's hear from Encle again. Let's see if we can. Yes, there we go.
So, my sister,
So,
I'm fine.
oh, that's fantastic. So glad to hear that. Okay, so if you think of any other ones here, then you're very welcome to say. Let's hear from two more people. And then I just want to show you one example of how you might design your robots. If you're struggling for ideas a little bit, I'll show you how I would go about starting that. Okay, so let's hear from Blessing. Okay, I might not be able to hear from Blessing immediately. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Good morning. And do you know what you would like your robot to do?
It would do help people.
Oh, help people. I wonder how a robot could help people. Well, you know what? Robots could help us to talk with each other. Robots could help us to cook our food and carry heavy things and drive us around, like those self-driving cars. Hey? I suppose that's really a kind of a robot. It's a computer that's driving people along. And it's not at a place yet that it's safe enough that, you know, people don't need to drive at all. But that's so cool that, you know, in our lifetimes, we're going to be seeing that. I really like that, helping people. What a great way to think of computers and coding and all of that. We hear from Jasmine. I would want to make a small car that mops the floor. Oh, that would be so helpful and also very fun to play with. And Zoe says, thank you, Mr. Rose. See you tomorrow. Yes, looking forward to that. Let's hear from Zara before we move on to showing you a little bit about the robot and how you might design it.
Me and my sister, we have bicycles.
Oh, bicycles. That's really cool. I wonder how we could use coding or computers to help with a bicycle. Well, I know of some people, my brother, who also does this, and he has, I think it's a watch that tracks where he rides on his bicycle. So he can see how far he rides on his bicycle, and he can see what his other friends are doing, riding on their bicycles. We could use it to make our bicycles go faster. Or maybe there would be a way that we could do it and use a robot to make a robot so that we never fell off our bicycles. That would be cool. We wouldn't get hurt with that. Oh, I like that idea. That is cool. Okay, so let me just quickly swap over. I'm just going to pause my sharing just for a moment, and then we're going to go over to our robot sheet over here. And here is the robot. This is the file that I will drop in there shortly. And all I've done, I'm in a program called Adobe Reader. It's a free program to download. And this is what I would do. If I had my robot and I wanted to start to think about how I might change this robot, I used something that's just a little circle over here. And I would say, here's a button for making me a delicious sandwich. And here's one for something else, for flying and carrying me somewhere away far. And there's another one for telling me a joke whenever I want. So that's just one way that you can design and, oh, sorry, there, I wasn't even showing you that. Here's my robot in a program called Adobe Reader. Sorry, Cole. Yes, I see I wasn't sharing. Sorry about that. So here's our robot. This is in a program called Adobe Reader. And what I've done over here is I've just found a place that I can add in some circles and things. And I've said, hey, well, you know, on my robot, I want to put a button over here. This could be the one that helps you to fly somewhere. This is the one that will tell me a joke. And this one will make me a delicious sandwich. So you can add in buttons, you can add in extra lines, print it out, draw it, and then please do send it along to chris@homecode.co.za. Okay, so before we say goodbye, I'm just going to stop sharing over here, and I am going to drop in that file for you guys to try out. Let me just quickly find it once again. And we'll do that there. Remember, if you've got any other questions, anything like that, you can drop a, and we will do some more pattern recognition, algorithms, playing around, understanding computers. Thank you so much for all the questions, for all of the fun that we got to have. I loved hearing from you guys. Thank you, thank you, thank you, and goodbye. Thank you very much.